Hello, everyone. I'm Emily May, and we are celebrating Women's History Month here at
Yes.
Mission Pro Wrestling. And we're going to be sharing a series of interviews and conversations with the women in the ring behind the scenes of Mission Pro. And today, I'm so excited to welcome the Queen Pin herself, Katalina Perez.
Yes. Thanks for having me. Thank you
Hello.
so much for having me.
Yes, of course. So we are doing these series of interviews, and I know you have wrestled for Mission Pro Wrestling. And so I want to know how you will be celebrating this month.
Oh, I'm just so happy to be a woman and a women's wrestler and just being able to now have a platform to express myself online about women having opportunities and women being able to do things like this. So I'm definitely going to be tweeting out some stuff and posting some stuff on Instagram about Women's Month.
Yeah, I mean, Women's History Month is we at Mission Pro we celebrate all year long.
Of
Um,
course.
Of course, we celebrate all year long. But this month, we're highlighting individuals that have been a part of Mission Pro that have wrestled, and you have had your moment to shine at Mission Pro. What
Yes.
was that moment like for you, and what does it mean to be a part of, an all women's promotion?
It's amazing because there's not a lot of all women's promotions. And to have an all women's independent promotion that is run by people that know what they're doing, like Thunder Rosa, and that wants to help women elevate and get eyes noticed on them, and to show that the girls can do just as much as the guys can do but better. So it was a big thing for me to be able to be a part of that, and the fact that Mission Pro was just growing and growing and growing and showcasing the women. I love that I was a part of that, and I would hope to be a part of more shows because I love it. It's a really good environment. The women are a really good team. It feels like family there. It's not like any catty drama or anything like that. We want to empower each other, we want to lift each other up, and we want to see each other grow.
I mean, definitely. I mean, speaking of experience, like what impact have you seen firsthand that Mission Pro has had on the community around them and the women involved? And where do you see Mission Pro and women in the industry going in the next few years?
I see Mission Pro getting to the top of the women's wrestling. They are going to be one of the top promotions. If you want to be a women's wrestler, you want to get on Mission Pro. Um, they've just done so much, and to be able to put that spotlight on women and showcase the whole show is all women's, it's not, so it's just a really good thing. And I really hope that they have done something that now other promotions are starting women's divisions and starting all women's shows, even in Tampa. My home promotion now has a women's show, so it speaks volumes as to what they're doing and how they're helping wrestling in general, and helping other promoters realize you know what, we should have all women's show, and we should put more than one women's match on the card. If you have a whole show dedicated to women, you should have more than one women's match on your show. And it sucks that there isn't. Most shows you'll go to, you'll barely have a women's match, and I hate that. So the fact that we have shows like Mission Pro and Shine Wrestling that dedicates all to women's wrestling, it's a really good thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the ripple effects of what Mission Pro is doing just across the country, and how it streams globally on Title Match Network. You
It
can watch
does.
all the shows, and we have people from all over the world watching what we're doing
Yes.
here, and that's incredible to see.
It is. It really
Yeah, I
is.
mean, so speaking of kind of influences in the industry and how Mission Pro is trying to be a trailblazer led by Thunder Rosa, there's so many people that have influenced me and people in the industry. Who has influenced you and has been your biggest, role model, either inside the industry and outside of the industry?
So inside the industry, I have my peers of women. My first one was Trish Stratus. I was born in '96, so I saw the ending of her career. But I gravitated towards her because she was that girl, and I loved her. And then after her was Nikki Bella, and I love Nikki Bella. I feel like Nikki Bella is like what I would love to be as a diva, smart, beautiful, powerful. She's transcending past WWE, doing other things, stuff like that. And then I gravitated towards them. I was inspired by Nikki, again, her getting injured with a neck injury and still coming back, and her being a mom, and Trish being a mom and coming back and doing all this stuff. And like outside of wrestling, it's really weird, but I love Selena Gomez. And I think that like she's just somebody that like growing up in Disney, like it's hard, you know, and like you see these girls go crazy, or the people, not girls, just everybody go crazy outside, and they're like, oh, they're weird, they're going through crazy phases and stuff like that. But Selena has always kept it grounded. She's always been like a really good role model to everybody. She's not really into anything like crazy like that, and she like is very good on like mental health and like being you and being it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be a human being, you know. So like I really look up to her in that aspect outside of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean you know, incredible examples of women in the industry and people that have influenced you, and that's what we try to do here at Mission Pro.
Yes,
But
yes, I love
as
it.
we like think about the next generation and think about how we're passing on and what our legacies are in the industry, you know, what advice would you give young girls that are either want to get involved in the industry or just any life advice to navigate kind of this wild, you know, world we're in?
Yeah, so it's funny because now I'm actually helping the younger generation. Before it was like me looking up to women and trying to get information, and now I have girls like in Florida that like come to me and ask me for help, and I find it so different. So like I'm learning now how to guide them and how to help them, and I just tell them like have fun, like go out there, have fun, don't be so hard on yourself because there's a lot of girls that they're still very brand new, like a year in or 2 years in, that they're so hard on themselves. And I'm like, you want to have fun. Like, this isn't like, yeah, wrestling's hard, but you want to don't put so much pressure on yourself because then you're going to have all these matches and you're going to feel so down on yourself that you're not experiencing life. You're not experiencing being in that moment because, like, you can only live those moments. And, you know, like when I did certain things for TV, I would just be in that moment and be like, you know, I'm living this. I have cameras on me. This is going to be on TV. Like I'm living this moment. And a lot of girls don't do that. A lot of wrestlers don't do that in general. And I just want them to go have fun, you know, like live in the moment, be you, just go out there and have fun.
That's really great advice. I mean, it's so important, like you said, to live in that moment.
Yeah.
So how are you taking that advice yourself and making a change in the industry for women and elevating them?
Yeah, I just again try to like be present in your moment. It's hard, but like I'm getting better with like spirituality and stuff like that. So being in that and then just again talking to the girls before their match, after their match to get their feel on it and like how they like again it's new and nobody was there for me really when I started, especially women. There was no women really that came up to me and talked to me about how my match went, about like what I could be doing better or like how to like be backstage and like how to be a wrestler. You know, nobody showed me that. So I'm trying to help them out because I feel that. I feel that I didn't get that. So I want to help you with anything. Like if you need help with your makeup, if you need help getting somewhere, if you need to find the bathroom, if you need somebody to help you out with your match or anything like that. Like I want to be there for the girls in that way because nobody was there for me when I started doing that.
Yeah, I mean that's a really so important because you, there's so many parts of the industry that when you're first starting you just don't understand, you don't know. And so
Exactly.
having those veterans in the locker room to help and guide the younger generation is so important.
It
And
really is.
I feel like we're all and I feel like that's what's great about Mission Pro too, which I know you've seen like, you know,
Hmm.
behind the scenes and in the locker room is that there's
Yes.
definitely those locker room leaders that really take it very seriously and help those that might need it.
Yes, and I love that. And I love that we're able to do that for each other and with each other. And again, it's not catty where it's like, oh, she's trying to take my spot. Like, no, I want to help women's wrestling grow so that everybody can see us and we can make our money, you know? Because, like, if we're tearing each other down, like, it's not going to get anywhere, like, at all. So we just have to help each other, lift each other up, give each other advice. I know sometimes unsolicited advice happens, but like, just listen. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. But we're here to help each other out, not hurt each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's your dream for women in the industry?
I would love like if we had multiple women's matches like on the card at all times, any show. Like if there's 6 matches on the card, 3 should be women, 3 should be men. We should split it equally. Like I love that women are in main events and they're getting, you know, like WWE had that one pay-per-view for them and like we're doing things like little by little and whatnot, but in the future, I would just love it where it's just like we're equal to everybody. It's not a special attraction match where you're like, oh, we have a special attraction match. It's a women's match. I'm not a special attraction. I'm a human being. I'm just a girl. Like, I want people to see us that way. We're just wrestlers.
100%.
Yes.
So true.
Yes.
I know we all feel that way. So as we all reflect on Women's History Month and we think about the moments that were pivotal in our lives, what was one of those moments, either in the wrestling industry or in your life, who helped helped frame who you are?
It's funny though, because it's like outside of wrestling, and it was my sisters because I'm the baby. I'm the third child, and I have two older sisters, and so one is 5 years older than me, and the other one's 4 years older than me. So they did bad stuff all the time. They did things they weren't supposed to do, and since I was the baby, I just watched this, and my dad would always tell me, "Don't do what they're doing. Don't do what they're doing. Don't do what they're doing." And I'm like, okay, okay, okay. So I just sheltered myself, and I just watched wrestling, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna do me, watch wrestling, and that helped me a lot because like if I would have done what they were doing, I would not be a wrestler today. Like I would be somewhere else. Don't know what I'd be doing, but I would not be wrestling today. So that was a huge pivotal moment because if I didn't take my dad's advice and my sisters weren't doing that, like I wouldn't be here today.
Wow. I mean, are you close with your sisters today? And do you?
Yeah, they've mellowed down. They're good now. But like growing up, I definitely needed to see that and like it be in real life so I can understand what not to do. So it definitely helped.
So what did they think when what did your sisters think when you started wrestling? And did they think like you were going through a wild phase?
So they used to watch wrestling with my parents because my parents watched it, and they thought that I was going to grow out of the stage of like, oh, stop watching wrestling when you find out it's fake or when you hit a certain age. They stopped watching wrestling. And they were waiting for me, and it never happened. I would always get mad, and like they would want to go to the store or something, and I'm like, I need to be home by 8 o'clock because Monday Night Raw's gonna start. And they would always be mad. They're like, just miss it. I'm like, no, I can't miss it. You don't understand. It's live. But then when I first started, my middle sister, she was like you're not gonna care for this, but whatever, go for it. I'll be here if you need me, whatever. And the oldest sister, she was very hard on me. She was like, you need to make sure you're doing this. You need to get your gear. You need to get pictures done. You need to like be good and everything like that. And she like,
Wow.
yeah, she yelled at me one time for not having like proper gear. And I was like, okay. But
Wow,
now
she's your manager. She's making
she
things happen.
she was like, you need to get this done. So but no, now they love it. They support me. Like they get really excited when they see my pictures and my videos. And like it's sweet now because my middle sister now has a daughter, and she's 3, and she would come to the shows. I used to have like a show 20 minutes from my house every Wednesday, and they would come, and she was there as a baby, and she would just watch and whatnot. And so now, since we don't do live shows out here anymore, my sister puts videos on, and she just watches it and is just enamored by me just wrestling, and she loves it. So like, I can't wait to see if she wants to do wrestling when she gets older, because you know I'm helping the generation and like after me, and like she could definitely be one of them.
That's amazing. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, I
It
know so many
is.
people that fell in love with wrestling as a young child, and that's
Yes,
when it starts. And
it does.
I love how you have that connection with her now.
I know, it's great. I love it. Every time she sees me, because she calls me Titi, she's like, "Look, Titi," and I'm like, "Yes, that's me." I love it.
That's so sweet. So for Women's History Month, if you could encapsulate 3 words that described you for this
Okay, let's
month,
see. Mm,
what would they be?
let's see. Um, I don't want to use bad words to describe me because I want to say like I'm strong, like I'm very like thick skin and like a strong backbone, like I can handle myself. So I can say I'm very strong, and like I definitely have like leadership qualities. So I'm definitely like a strong like leader type, and it's not that. What is the other nice word for like when they say you're like aggressive or like abrasive, but you're not? I'm just like stating my opinions and like not scared to like tell you how I feel. I know there's a word for it, but
Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word either.
it's a nice word. It's not, because people tend to think like, oh, she's a woman, she's being aggressive, she's being
Assertive. You're
assertive.
assertive.
Yes. Yes. Assertive in a good way, like I want things to be good and like make it make sense. And I have to like tell you how I feel about it. So yeah, I'm strong, leader, assertive.
I love it. I love it. Those are all great things to be.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share about in celebration of Women's History Month?
No, but I appreciate that you guys are doing this. I love that you guys are doing this. Like low key, I didn't know when Women's History Month was, so I love that you're bringing this attention to it because again, nobody's bringing attention to it. Nobody is doing interviews with women and talking about this. So I appreciate you guys at Mission Pro for doing this and taking the time out of your day to interview us women and get our words out there.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited that you have been a part of Mission Pro. We need you to
Yes.
come back.
I would love to
but,
come back. I love Texas.
Yeah, Texas is fun. But thank you so much for taking some time and chatting with us,
Thank you.
about Women's History Month and your stories. And yeah, we can't wait to see you again in the ring. Thank you all out there for watching these Women History Month series with Mission Pro. You can follow Mission Pro on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to us on YouTube for more content. And remember that if you want to learn about all of our upcoming shows, you can go to missionprowrestling.net and you can stream our shows on Title Match Network. Thank you so much. I'm Emily May and look forward on our YouTube channel for more Women's History Month interviews. Take care.